Hi guys, so welcome to my channel. If you have never been around here before, I am Riz, and in this video I'm going to share how I use Notion effectively to keep track of all my assignments, because you might know as an IB student how much stuff that's always going on every week, every day. Not even trying to exaggerate it, but it was tough and I've been through it and you will be through it too. Whatever tips I'm sharing right now, they're applicable for like literally anyone, by the way. I'm gonna give you a tour of my Notion and also a tutorial on how to do some of the things. I'm not gonna share how to make it static because you can find lots of videos like that. The thing about me is that I used to write notes in my books, but then after a while in some of my classes, I couldn't keep up with the pace of my teacher who would just keep talking and I had to take down notes. So then I shifted to taking notes on my laptop, and I had some notes in my notebook, some in my laptop, and I was like always juggling between them. But there's actually apps like OneNote where you can actually upload pictures of, let's say, your notebook. You can keep everything in one place on your laptop. So firstly, when you make your Notion account, there's going to be lots of default pages made for you, and I'm going to still show you how to make a new page. So you go to more and then click here. It will create a new page, and then for example I'm making like a home page for school and I'm going to make many sub pages in there. So I'll just write school here. Okay, now, the only basic aestheticness that I would do is adding a cover and an icon. So icon I can add like books, and then covers are really cool because there are already many covers inbuilt in Notion. For example, you have all these space thingies and everything, whatever you want, and that's it. You have a page right now. Now don't start making writing all your notes here like biology, blah 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 blah, blah. Okay, so I'll just give a tour first and then you will know what I'm talking about. This is my home school page. Over here, you can see I have a weekly to-do list right on top. This is in terms of my revision. It was actually my exam week, and so I was like, whatever I have to do, writing in there. I have a page for post-exam reviews. So I didn't keep up with it after my third paper, but I would write down, how the paper went, any questions that I felt were like too difficult. So just to keep track of my feelings. Oh, and here I also put down the past paper doc link. So you can actually paste links in here too. Now, this is the main database that I'm talking about. It looks very overwhelming at first, but very, very useful. Now, this was just my main deadlines, anything to do with exams, IA deadlines, or any external SAT exam. So, I didn't actually delete them after I was done with them because it was a form of motivation for me to look down and see all the stuff I've actually done. That's why I set this up in descending order. So you can do it by going here and then clicking ascending or descending. And this is as per the date, by the way, the due date. I put descending so all the newer tasks would be the top, because usually you would, get done with your first older tasks. So they would just go down. Now here, default, it will be not started when you write down something new, but when you start doing something, I can change it to like in progress. So I know that it started, it's not completely untouched. Then once I'm done, I would just go done. So now I don't have to worry about it anymore. Then over here, I have a kind of an overview, TTIA final upload. So just an overview of what the task is. And then I have a type here. Type is so useful. So in IB, there's different things, different names, for everything. Even for tests at my school, some of them were formatives. Formatives were like not included in your predicted grade. Summatives were included, but they were only a few topics. Synoptics, on the other hand, were like everything I've learned from the first start of the year till the end. It was important to know what kind of test it was. So I have like a type thing here. So this was an IA, so I have IA here. Some of them are actually double. The oral exams are actually IB exams, but they're also considered as your IA for that subject. So that's why I have two of them here. Then I have due date. You can actually do this by a calendar system, so it's very easy to put it down. And then I have a subject here. It was kind of extra because I also used to write down my subjects in the task section, but what you can do by making this separately is that you can filter it. So you can filter and you can just see like your biology tasks. So I only have one task here. Then if I go down to math, I had like three tasks. then you can filter it as per subjects too. So that's why I made a separate one. So note is for extra information. For example, some exams would not affect my critical grade while others would. Your teacher might say, oh, only this stuff will be tested from this chapter. So I would write it down here. And at the end, you're gonna see how I made this if you have no idea. But yeah. Now underneath I have a short term to do. This thing is basically for classwork. So you can see that I only have geography here is because towards the end of my second year, my geography teacher was absent a lot of times due to many reasons. And so she would set us work on Google Classroom and she'd be like, do it in your own time, but I'm not gonna check. So every time that happened, write it down here. And as you can see, I didn't complete any of it. Don't worry. I made this separately because it's classwork, it's not like test or IA. Okay, now I actually had separate pages, what do you call it? Domain pages for each subject. For instance, I mainly used Notion to write notes for geography and English. So I'm gonna just go through these two subjects. I'll go through geography first. So geography, I took it as a higher level. So I had a lot of topics in here. At the top, I have some links. This was so helpful, guys. It looks very messy, but this thing, like if I click here, it goes to that link, and then I have my guide ready in a new tab. So I have to keep searching for it. Same way, specification. It's always good to have everything, all your documents, you don't need to make like separate kind of folders. Now, as you can see, I have a database for my all my topics within geography, and I have three check boxes here. One is for notes, one is for review, and one is for practice questions. Basically, notes is for every time I knew that I've done with my notes for this unit, then I could like tick this off. Then review is before a final exam, you have like gone through this unit, you kind of have an idea what is there, the important concepts. Then you can check this off. And then practice questions is, have you solved any past paper questions specific to that topic? You've done all of them, then I would tick them off. I'll go through just one of my subject folders here. So this was one of my core units. The good thing about Notion is that no matter how long your note pages are, if you want to search for a specific term, you can do that by going here, like search. And for instance, I want to search like about e-waste. So I can search e-waste. It will list the places where I mentioned the word. So for instance, I know that I want to know about e-waste within core 3. So it's like here, so core 3. Like it highlights the places where I've used the word. So it makes it very easy. Then you can't do that when you are writing in handwritten notebooks because you don't know what you've written where. That is kind of how I structured my geography page, and you can do that other subjects as well. Now go through my English. It was a different format. All my subjects have different formats as per how I kind of figured out stuff in Notion, but also what worked best for that subject. So for instance, I go through my Frankenstein. Good thing about Notion is you can write notes so quick. Like for instance, Mary Shelley something. Okay, then go down. If you click enter, it makes it next bullet point, and you can keep doing that. So nice. And then one very optimistically productive thing that I did while reading Frankenstein was I made a word list. Because Frankenstein was one of the first books of proper literature that I read. There were many words I never had an idea of. So every time like for example, when I was reading chapter one, I went to chapter one, then the word, and then I wrote the meaning of it from Google, and then I made a toggle. So underneath the toggle, I have the sentence in which I read the word. So I know how that word was used in the book. This was extra, guys. But if you're a literature student, this might be handy. Now, underneath for English, what I did was I made a database again, but this was for the different papers. So paper one and paper two. Paper one, there was not much going on in here, but I just wrote down the format, like introduction, what you have to write, body, paragraph, very basic. And Then I have some resources here because in my Google Classroom there were a lot of documents and assignments, so it was difficult to find, important ones. So for instance, I can paste link here and it will open the document like analysis terminology, very important. But you get an idea, right? How I have organized my Notion pages for school. And now I'm gonna give you guys a tutorial on how to do the things that I've shown in this video. We had made a new page, so I can go here. Where is it? School. Okay, this one. So this is a page that we made, right? Okay, to make anything in Notion, there's a code. So you just slanting this, I forgot what it's called, and then you get this block. So you can scroll through here and find whatever kind of stuff you want. Okay, you want to make a new page, then you can click here and makes a new page for you. So here you can write like English. Okay, English. Then again add your icon, whatever English you think is, whatever icon you think is suitable for English, add cover, and you can write notes and make different databases within here. Okay, that's how you make new pages. Again, this slash page, then you can do biology. Okay, add icon, microscope. Okay, done. Okay, how you make a database. So slash and then you go down to database. Click table view. So if you click table view, what you have to do is you click new table. So it makes a new table. Now here you can write edit database title. So for instance, assignments. Okay, English, um, English test. Now, what kind of test is it? Then this is the tags, right? So tags, you can make new tags here. For example, um, the summative exam. So I like summative, then I click create. So it's here. Next tag is, sorry, then you have to make the deadline. Very important. So go click here the plus symbol and then you can go down to date. So in date you can change the title of this date column to deadline like this. Okay, now you can select the deadline, for example 31st August, right? Then you again click plus and you can add the status. So status, I like keeping status at the first column so it's easy to see what you've done and not done. And then you can add the subject tag as well. Next task could be biology, IA, right? IA, and then over here, then you can click IA, create it. So you have a different tag now, and then deadline, select the deadline, whatever. So that's how you can add on stuff to your database. I'm gonna go through the individual pages, subject pages, and show you how to do some hacks for note taking, very basic. So in order to add, again, heading one is the largest heading, so you can use that for your themes, main theme. For example, Frankenstein, you're reading Frankenstein. Frankenstein. Now within Frankenstein, you can add different pages, again, sub pages, book overview. Okay, then you can add like page and then word list as I had made. Toggle, very simple, just click the slash and then search toggle, TOGGD. If you search TOG, it will come up. Then you write the word like avidity, right? Avidity. Then if you want to change the color of the word, select it. Then you can make it bold, italic, underline, and then you can click here. So text color, you can make it blue, and I can also change the highlight color to green. So now it's like that. If I click this, it's now facing down. So that means now I can write something underneath here. For example, meaning, blah blah. So now when I click on the toggle again, it will disappear. Basically, it's hidden. So this is very helpful if subjects like STEM as well, when you have so many explanations for different terminologies, and you can instead shift this underneath the toggle itself. So it will be hidden only for when you have to review that term. You can also use this as a flashcard system. So look at the word, think about the meaning, then check. There's other stuff you can do, like for example, call out. I use call out as I said for other important terminologies, e-waste issue in Ghana. So I can give an overview of it. You can also do quote. Quote is like you can use this for segregating other important information. Like for example, on September 2nd, 2001, this volcano erupted. That's kind of it. Now, how I used OneNote, I used it on my iPad because I used to take handwritten notes during my tutorials. Solve past papers is very useful, guys. You don't need to print out past papers. You can put them in OneNote. If you have Apple Pencil or any other equivalent, you can write on that. So no need of wasting papers, putting that time. I hope you guys stay organized and hope this tutorial was useful. I'm just gonna try and improve more and more. Okay, see you guys.